Hello everyone, this is Lorena, and I'm back with another Duel Links video. I am actually going to go through the Scene album today and cover everything for this arc, and because I'm pretty sure that the arc is, it's covered entirely through this one event. Just all 13 episodes of this arc, right here, right now. I mean, honestly, How I Dueled a Nail was basically the spoiler on that one, but my bad. Duel Links doesn't care. I mean, as far as Konami is concerned, most Americans don't give a shit about rush duels. Or most of the rest of the world, I guess. I don't know. But they did decide to add this to Duel Links, so maybe they're testing the waters, but I don't understand anything Konami does. I don't understand business decisions. Alright. I won 10 duels as Nail. Oh yeah, now I remember why I was dueling that chair. Oh right, I was dueling Sebastian. He's actually a massage chair. Which I like, because I need a massage every now and then. I say as though that has actually been a priority for me at any point. Yeah, well, Sebastian is the finest of massage chairs, okay? No one can beat him in the department of massages. Now, I would just like to remind everyone that Sevens just kept making me cry for no reason. And I was confused. I'm like, why am I crying? This makes no sense. No, really, it makes no sense. This is weird. This is weird! Mazar, did I say you were allowed to have a rematch? I don't believe I did. I did not tell you anything. Although he probably thinks that he's of higher status than me. Okay, we'll see what happens to you now. Although, actually, this is not... Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna end my turn. Dear God, this hand. Well, to be fair, I just can't really do anything. I don't know, man. I feel screwed. I mean, if he's using Mazar's usual cards, yeah, I'm screwed. If he decides to take me out like Kite does, that means I'm screwed. But this time, my opening hand was just extra terrible. So the duel should end quite fast. It will definitely be a fast run, to be fair. Yeah. You know, I once cried over a death of a character I just don't like. I didn't like that character for the entire season, and during their death scene, I just cried. And did I care that they were dying? No, but my tears were there. They were right there, and I'm just like, what the hell? What? I've just had so many moments of crying, and it just makes no sense. But those really, really increased during Sevens. I'm just like, why the hell are these tears here? This must mean it gets extra dark, right? No, it never did. It never did! And then the last episode of Sevens aired, and I'm just like, huh. What happened? What happened? I want to know what happened. And now I assume that's what's happening. We're learning that. Meanwhile, I'm over here like, yeah. Doubt me. Be skeptical. Ask questions. But you weren't there. You didn't see my tears. The tears that rolled down my face, and then I'm just sitting here like, what the hell is going on? I really just had no idea. And I can make up all kinds of shit. But I cannot make up the fact that those tears still happened. You may not be around to know where they were. I mean, honestly, I think that for a lot of those tears, I was still mourning the loss of Reigns, but then after a while, the ending of Reigns became less of an issue, and I'm just like, What am I actually crying over now? Because I think I'm over it, and I'm still crying. Why? And now I'm actually behind in Go Rush, to be honest. But if I want an explanation, even if it's not the explanation you believe, it's still an explanation of some kind. It's the closest I'll ever get to understanding those tears. I still maintain that, even if you disagree. I mean, they could just be random brain bullshit. I know your skills, Mazar. I apparently know you just as well as you know me. It's actually kind of depressing. Also, how did you find me? I put the armor back on. How did you find me? To be honest, I don't actually want to know. What are you doing? If this is a pointless decision, just attack me directly. Okay, alright. Now you're flexing on me and this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Did I say we're allowed to flex? Although to be fair, you're not allowed to do much of anything except listen to everything I say. I mean, I know you think you're of higher status than me. And to be honest, that's generally the case when you compare king versus emperor. Emperors normally have more power compared to a king, but is that the same case when you have supreme king there? I don't know. I don't really understand royalty or whatever. I don't understand politics, to be honest. I understand nothing. My experience... Okay, A losing is on your radar. I will put it there. You may be wondering why I have to do things like this. You may be wondering why I'm just this mean to Blair. It's not really because I hate her. I don't, okay? But, she's just a normal teenage girl, and I never was, so... You know, to be honest, I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be. I'm fine as I am right now, to be honest. But my past was dark. I'm not joking about that. It was definitely messed up. I've got many secrets. I cannot share most of them. They are too dark for YouTube's policies. YouTube will probably strike me down if I try to go into some of that shit. Which is honestly pretty stupid in some cases, because some of what I've gone through isn't actually as bad as some of the other shit. Some of it shouldn't be against whatever policy YouTube has, but I know people disagree, and honestly, that's fair. Yeah, Blair, you really don't know anything about love because you're what? I don't know how old you are, but at this point you're, okay, I'm starting to... Okay, 4Kids, you are definitely to blame for my confusion. I believe you changed Blair's age, so now I don't know what it is. Anyway, ignoring that, it's not really important. What's really important is you don't actually understand love when you're in high school. I mean, I sure didn't. I barely understood it in my 20s, to be fair. You may be like, do you understand it? Yes, I do. But whether or not I show that information to you is another matter entirely. And I'm sure no one has to know. Besides, certain things just shouldn't be told to everyone. They may hear things they don't need to hear. No one needs to know about my pain. Although sometimes I do talk about it, but no one needs to hear it. It's just, I decide to do things. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do every time I see Blair now. You'd be like, what the hell? Yeah, you know, I can do whatever. This isn't that bad, honestly. Although, for the record, when I was Blair's age, I basically freaked out in basically the same way. So, that's the point of what I'm saying. It's not really it's not a good point, I'll be honest, but it is a point. I'm just responding the way I did the first time. And I'm sure some people don't necessarily believe that, but what do you think I was doing in middle school or high school or whatever? I mean, I had so much going on that I don't think anyone has room to argue that I don't. Okay, what level are you? Did I decide to do you at level 40 or level 10? Oh, wait a minute. I don't think I'm dueling you at the gate. That ends today's... Dude, shut up! We're not preserving a continuity over here, Nail. How does it feel knowing you're not in control, and that you were never in control to begin with? Well, to be honest, I hate it. Thanks. Thanks for reminding me. I am in pain. I think that... Oh God, why? This is so messed up. And it's not even because... In all honesty, there's just some recency going on here, and that's not good. And there's all kinds of information that makes this so much darker than it really is. I mean, for most people that see this, this is just Nail being Nail. But when it's said to me, that has a lot of extra meaning. A lot of extra meaning. And that extra meaning applies to me and no one else. But it's so dark when you know and understand the full context of why I am responding to this like this. Like, how does it feel knowing that I'm not in control of everything going on in my entire life? How does it feel? And how does it feel knowing that I never was in control? Knowing that everything... We're going to move on. My obsession is taking control of me. Also, I might be a bit hungry. Huh. Anyway, we're going to the gate for a second. I want to duel him at the gate now. I maxed out Gakuto. I mean, Gavin, whatever. Yeah, I maxed out Gavin. And now I'm working on Roman here. After this, I will work on leveling up Roa. And then I'll level up Nail last. Because he's the most recent, and I expect that if I end up... Dude, am I still going to be doing this event when... I don't know. When I was leveling up Gavin, I kind of leveled him up in a very weird way. But now that I've unlocked all the episodes, I can just go back to doing this. It's nice, actually, quite relaxing. I say as though I'm relaxed. So I was going to go on this weird tangent about how this one quote was so messed up. And I'm just like, no one needs to know. But there are so many things in this game that have extra meaning only when it comes to me. A lot of things that just have extra meaning, but only in my case. Only when applied to me. Like, for example, when Quattro tells me to act like a fan. I am a fan, Quattro, but no, I will not act like one. I don't feel like it. But I do think it's funny that line is there. Because I do think that I deserve to be told that. Even now. It's been well over a year, and I still think I deserve to hear that. To be fair, Quattro isn't the only target of my roasting. I can like you and still roast your ass. In fact, in many cases, that means I like you a lot. But not always, not always. But I have to be reasonable. So that's why I roast people. That's part of me being reasonable. You may be like, what? How is that reasonable? It's reasonable in a twisted way. And also because I said so. It doesn't have to make sense to you. It makes sense to me. And also, I think in many cases, you would prefer I roast someone than actually act like a fan. How many people want me acting like a fan of half these characters? Let's be real. Like Mimi approaching Roa, I'm just like, someone call law enforcement. Although law enforcement can't tell she's an adult just by looking at her. She has to wear a sign that says, I am an adult in adult spaces. Wow, how depressing. It is depressing. And I'm just like, shit. I wonder if her child is adopted or what happens to the father? I just want to know. I'm curious. Because either that person had to have a similar condition, or maybe he was arrested because... Oh, God. Yeah, you know, you don't want to know where my brain goes half the time. You would prefer I just insult characters instead. Because when I actually act like I care properly, we start getting into weird topics like this. Like what happens to Mimi's husband or the father of her child? Is that her blood child? And if so, where's the father? Which can be asked in a number of other cases, sure, but with Mimi, it's extra weird. And it's like, you may wonder if the father is dead or in prison. Although, to be honest, he could be in prison without Mimi having done anything. Because Goha Corporation is just super corrupt. And also, I thought it was weird that Gohan makes all the decisions in town. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's not realistic. Meanwhile, YouTube. Meanwhile, Google. Meanwhile, years later, I'm just like, oh. Oh, wait a minute. And who's in power again? Money is in power. Money is in power. What do companies do? They make money. And then politicians want money, so they fall for the bribes. Oh my God, America, you know what? Why am I singling out America? Because this... Well, I do live here. But I highly suspect that most politicians in some fashion want money. Because that's not unusual for humans. I mean, we like our money. That's why we keep making it and using it. And rubbing it in people's faces when they don't have it. Like, for example, in my case, I don't have money. You may think I have money, but that's an illusion. That is an illusion, and it is preserved by the fact that somehow this country is still functioning. Yes, I told my therapist countless times that I'm surprised this country is functioning. And then I was like, wait a minute. What the? This country didn't learn anything from the pandemic. And then I stopped for a moment in therapy to think about what I just said. And I'm like, that's dark. What do we need then? How do we learn our lesson? What is worse than a pandemic? And then I switched topics to something just as dark when I said I was supposed to move on. What's worse than a pandemic? Well, Rush era. You may imagine where my brain went. And if you don't know, you are not American. And if you're not American, that doesn't necessarily mean you have no idea where my brain went. I mean, come on. I don't necessarily want to say it because I'm just like, don't. Just don't. Don't. Oh, God. It's dark in my imagination. Very, very dark. And some of that shit is real and not just imagined. Like my dependence on medication, that's not imagined. I need that shit. If I don't have medication, I'm not very functional. I'm just going to say it like that. And by the way, I'm supposed to be covering the rest of the event. And which episode am I on? Should I just start over? You know, from the very beginning. Some people may not appreciate that. Well, to be fair, I understand. But that really doesn't stop me, does it? As long as I'm still following YouTube's policies, I should be good. Now, am I following YouTube's policies? I hope so. I'm doing my best. I mean, it's one thing if you disagree with me and don't like my content, but am I following YouTube's policies? I just want to make sure, man, because sometimes I just don't know. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap things up for this video. I'm going to prepare to cover the rest of the event. And to do that, I had to know where I left off, so be right back.